Emergency podcast because the Patriots hate me and my worst fear is now coming true as a fan. Hit the music. So 0.5 seconds after I hit publish on Wednesday's podcast, a nice little article on ESPN came out titled, "Voted Off the Island, Inside Bill Belichick's Failed Job Hunt." Reported by Donovan Addis, Seth Wickersham, and Jeremy Fowler, and the summary of this story is how Robert Kraft sabotaged Bill Belichick's job hunt and is the reason why he is currently unemployed. So I want to take this time to run through some important snippets of the article, see what it means for the league, what it means for Belichick, what it means for Robert Kraft, and what I think is the grand takeaway from all this. Cool? Cool. Snippet 1, Robert Kraft's conversation with Arthur Blank. In a conversation with Blank, Kraft delivered a stark assessment of Belichick's character according to a source who spoke to two people, a close Kraft friend and a longtime Belichick confidant. The source quoted the Belichick source as saying Robert called Arthur to warn him not to trust Bill. That account was backed up, the source said, by the close Kraft friend. Multiple sources said that Kraft spoke with, quote, some candor, unquote, to Blank about Belichick, though the sources declined to elaborate. One source close to Belichick said Kraft was, quote, a big part, unquote, of why the Falcons pass on hiring him. All right, guys, we got our smoking gun of Robert Kraft starting the sabotage of the coach that's 50% responsible for him being known for things other than slices of cheese. Snippet number 2, this is about the Commanders. Owner Josh Harris, who is also the owner of the 76ers, used to own it with Michael Rubin, a close friend of Robert Kraft, who we will bring up later because he is important to this story. A conversation he had with GM Adam Peters, who is a former Patriot employee who discussed with Bill Belichick the possibility of them teaming up in Washington. The snippet is as follows. Principal owner Josh Harris, who had spoken privately with Kraft about Belichick, told confidants in early December that he respected Belichick but wasn't going to hire him. He wanted the same leadership structure he has with the 76ers and New Jersey Devils, a strong general manager over a head coach. I know plenty of 76ers fans. I know a couple New Jersey Devils fans. They have not experienced the success that can even sniff Bill Belichick's jock straps, but sure, Josh Harris, go ahead and run an already poverty franchise like the poverty franchises you already own. Go for it, buddy. Speaking of poverty franchises, the Carolina Panthers. This one just made me laugh from like the bottom of my belly. The Carolina Panthers briefly discussed Belichick before he signed his 2-year extension with the New England Patriots a year ago. But this offseason, Carolina decided to pass. A source said Panthers owner David Tepper often sifts through data to critique his coach's play calling. That, according to a source, is, quote, tough to do with Belichick as the figurehead, unquote. Now, first off, Panthers fans, if you're wondering why you've had 4 head coaches since David Tepper has taken over your team, actually, I think it might be 6 if you count the interims. This is why. That right there. Because your owner wants to sit there and discuss play calling with your coaches when he used to be a finance guy and never put a helmet on in his life and has never seen a play sheet. What are we doing? And to all other teams who have just hired a head coach in this hiring cycle, I want you to look your organizations in the eye and ask them, seriously, are we really trying to win football games? Because in this article, the Eagles contacted him. The Cowboys contacted him. It wasn't reported in this article, but there was a rumor flying around that the 49ers contacted him to be the defensive coordinator for their team, which I suggested after they lost the Super Bowl because Kyle Shanahan's great at play calling, bad at situational football. You know who's the best situational football coach in the history of the NFL? Bill Belichick. Sounded like a match made in heaven to me. Maybe he doesn't want to be a defensive coordinator. Maybe he'd rather be on TV. I don't know. But that sounded like a great match to me. In Belichick, you're talking about a man that's been in the NFL since he was with the Detroit Lions in 1975. We are talking about almost 50 years of NFL experience in one man. And your organizations are letting the word of an owner they are competing with keep them from hiring him. Again, fan bases, ask your organization, are we actually serious about winning football games? Because that is not serious about winning football games behavior. Now, I have to shoot Robert Kraft a little bit of bail before I completely dig into him, right? Because fair, balanced journalism, blah, 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 blah. First, him and the Patriots deny the article. They rebuke it, say that he would never say such things about Belichick behind his back, and he respects him. Why would he work with him so long if he didn't trust him? And that's the statement they gave. And they didn't say this one out loud, but this is just a BKA beloved anecdote, if I will. Who amongst us has never complained about our coworkers? Who hasn't, right? It's natural to do so. And when we complain to our coworkers, it's usually to our family and our close friends. It just so happened that Robert Kraft's close friends are billionaire owners of football teams. So it's a different type of circle he runs in that just so happens to impact the employment of Bill Belichick. Is that fair? Okay, that's all the bail I'm shooting him. Time to let the chopper sing. Robert Kraft has been on his hands and knees begging to be let into the Hall of Fame at the expense of the coach that was carrying him there. I know I keep giving Belichick a bunch of the credit. I can hear the Patriots fans screaming Tom Brady. Obviously, Brady and Belichick are 50-50 on this. He's not a part of this conversation right now. Love you, Tom. You're not in this. Stay out of this. But to Robert Kraft, two things cannot be true. You could not have had a 20-year bad relationship with Bill Belichick because he wouldn't let you in on the process and you couldn't trust him and all these negative stories you're saying about him. And then also try to take all this credit for making sure the dynasty works. Two of those things can't be true. Speaking of the word dynasty, how fitting. Do y'all remember the last line of the Dynasty trailer for the Apple TV documentary?
I was just trying to hold it together the best I could.
Not to mention there are numerous Patriot players who have spoken out against that documentary, some of them saying, yo, we were duped. We were interviewed for hours and they used the 15 seconds of negative things I said about Coach Belichick. These players include Julian Edelman, Vince Wilfork, Rob Gronkowski, Devin McCourty, Rodney Harrison, Stephon Gilmore, Matthew Slater, just to name a few, just some Hall of Famers in there. And then when asked about it at the owners meeting, Robert Kraft tried to say, well, I didn't tell them to say any of those things. Like every episode doesn't end with Kraft Sports Production. Copyright Kraft Dynasty 2024. Like, who are you trying to fool right now? And the breadcrumbs we've seen along the way. The super awkward end of the press conference when Belichick and him parted ways.
Thank you.
Couple handshakes, couple hugs.
He's got a cold, so I'm not going to kiss him.
ESPN story in January where he gave to Mike Reese, where it was all types of quotes kicking Belichick's back in. And there's been evidence for a while now that he's been saying these type of things behind closed doors. In November of 2023, Michael Rubin was on the Bill Simmons podcast, and I heard this in the moment, but today made me think about it. I want y'all to listen to this clip where Michael Rubin makes it a point to point this out when discussing Robert Kraft with Bill Simmons.
Study, lots of tricks that Robert has, and I watched lots of things. I can tell you he's a perennial winner. Yes, this has been a horrible season. He will be a perennial winner. Yes, Tom Brady, greatest quarterback, greatest NFL player of all time. To me, there's no debate about that. But I think if you ask Tommy, he would say he alone, that Robert was, glue and helped, keep everything to where they were able to win 6 championships together.
Oh, but it gets better.
It is amazing. But now it's like the big controversy in New England is, well, Brady won the Super Bowls. And to me, it was both of them. I give them equal billing in the 6 Super Bowls.
So how about this? I give the 3 of them.
I told y'all Michael Rubin would come back up in this. So clearly he has been fighting for his larger piece of the pie where he could have just shut the hell up behind closed doors, squashed his ego, and just polished his 6 rings and made his billions of dollars. He won 6 rings while being the cheapest owner in the league, getting F pluses, not even F pluses, F minuses on all the NFLPA surveys. So the things you actually can control as the owner, you're failing at. But you're sitting here trying to tell us that Belichick was the problem. Come on, bro. We're just not stupid people. And I clocked this before they fired Bill Belichick. I hate to be self-referential, and this is what my worst nightmare was. Roll the clip. I don't want this to be a Jimmy Johnson, Jerry Jones situation where it ends so badly between the Krafts and Belichick to the point where they're not speaking and we can't put Belichick in the ring of honor and it's all awkward when we talk about the Patriots era. I don't want that. I need y'all to realize something. There are Cowboys fans in the year of our Lord 2024 that are still upset at Jerry Jones. It has been 30 years. And unlike Jerry Jones, Robert Kraft, you don't have 30 years to make things better with Belichick. You're 82. He's 72. Y'all are going to make up and kiss in the middle of Gillette Stadium at over 100 years old. And what really pisses me off, and this will be the last point I make before I give myself an aneurysm. The shrapnel of this is going to fall on two black head coaches. Raheem Morris for the Falcons, Jerod Mayo for the Patriots. In Raheem Morris's case, he is now going to be known as the head coach that got hired over Bill Belichick. In Jerod Mayo's case, he is now the head coach that Bill Belichick got pushed out for. Is that fair to either one of them? Absolutely not. Because of course they're there on their own merits, but there's already a group of people that don't want to see black people in position of powers on their own merits. And now they got more of a reason why. So thank you, Robert Kraft, for making this so much worse than it has to be. And I feel so bad for Jerod Mayo because he's going to be the one at the press conferences after all these games having to answer for bullshit like this when he just want to coach some football. Okay, I think I got it out. Like, follow, subscribe, damn it.